people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fingers and say, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy.
Like Shakur Stevenson, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters on the planet. He's so fucking boring. How old is the guy? Just say to him, all right, mate, bye. Come back to us when you've finished your tantrum. You know, what Shakur Stevenson should be doing is actually getting off Twitter. Because I rate him, as I said, as one of the top fighters in the world. But he's so, like, all this stuff. You know, Ryan Garcia, I'm fighting Devin. I'm fighting Rowley. I'm fighting this, I'm fighting that. And then the fans are like, what is going on? You think that a fan wants to read about Shakur Stevenson sulking about the politics of boxing, and then when he comes back, or do you expect people just to support him even more? Like, you're gonna, like, just think about what you're saying. That way, like, that's like fucking, it's ridiculous.
He wasn't just talking about Shakur Stevenson's method of fighting a fight. He was talking about what happens in between fights, often on social media, that's grown tiresome, grown tedious. Boring! Now you're thinking to yourself, well, I never once heard Eddie call Shakur boring when he was promoting him for, what was it, 2-3 fights? Perhaps not, but you wouldn't say the stuff about your boss at your job that you'd say about him when that's not your boss and that's not your job, now would you? So Eddie had a job to do and he did it. Now he can be honest, completely honest about things. Pretty fucking boring. You say you want this guy and you want that guy, so you signed to a promotion where none of those fighters fight, which is fine. It'll be up to them to get you those fights, and we'll see if they can. But Shakur Stevenson's temperament outside of the ring, he does get pretty thin-skinned whenever the B word gets thrown around. Boring! In regards to Shakur's recent shouting match with Shannon Sharp, friend of the channel Dojo said, the stupid and dumb take that people haven't fought, can't have an opinion, and don't know anything about boxing is the most stupid thing I've heard in sports. Because, you know, Shakur's always calling people casuals when they call him boring. I would say that anybody that keeps up with this much boxing content, boxing news, boxing interviews, not exclusive to boxing matches, those are hardcores. Those are hardcores calling you boring. You think it's casuals sitting through 45 and hour-long interviews, videos, to see what you said? You think those are casuals doing that? Those are hardcores. And they think you're boring. You know, boxers ain't rock stars like they used to be in previous eras of boxing. Most boxers, even very successful ones like Shakur, are obscure figures in the sporting world. I'd wager you could stop any two guys in the street and they could name you a string of NBA players, a string of NFL players, maybe even a few soccer players before they could name a few boxers. Angel Reese, who plays for the WNBA, I would say has more visibility than your average boxer. So this idea that it's just the casuals lambasting Shakur, it's just the casuals calling him boring. Buddy, I don't think there are that many casual boxing fans left for you to arrive at that conclusion. The truth is, you got a style that maybe it's effective and it works most of the time, but it ain't that fun to watch. You're expecting people to pay for a ticket to be there for your fights, pay to see you at home, but you don't want them to have an opinion on what they're watching? Pure box is sort of an acquired taste, because at its base, what really draws people to combat sports, casual fans and hardcores alike, is the drama, is the seesaw action. It's the brutality more than anything. And you might start watching enough boxing that you develop a taste for a pure boxer, for the subtleties, for the nuance. But generally speaking, it's the least fan-friendly style of all the base styles. It's the hardest one to sell, the hardest one to digest, even among people that watch a lot of boxing. Oy vey. Don't let Shakur Stevenson for what they're paying him go in there on a Zuffa boxing card and lay an egg, like he did with Nicotila and like he did with Edwin De Los Santos, as that's going to make for a very awkward post-fight press conference for Dana White. Can you imagine? Remember that as the main event fighter, he was getting booed during the Edwin De Los Santos fight. So could you imagine that if in his Zuffa debut, the same thing happens? Oy vey. Since the career best win over Teofimo, It's been almost like Shakur doesn't have a clear direction he wants to go in, but he knows what he wants, if that makes sense. He wants a lot of money.
Don't we all?
But he didn't want undisputed at 140 simultaneously. He wasn't ready to fight at a full 147. So then what the fuck do you want to do?
The stuff with Devin Haney about fighting at a catch weight of 144, you don't want undisputed where you are, but you're not ready to move up either.
But you do want a lot of money. A lot of fucking money.
Don't we all?
That's what Eddie Hearn is calling boring. This sort of petulant, spoiled brat behavior.
It's boring.
The image and identity of what is the homegrown American boxer, it's not what it used to be, I'll tell you that much.
How do I say goodbye to Shakur Stevenson? Man, y'all ain't see that yet? Shakur Stevenson, yeah, he signed with Zuffa. What we been saying for months? Yeah, let us know what we been saying for months. I told y'all. Hey, that money is too damn good to turn down. Yeah, he about to make his family rich. Real rich signing with Zuffa. That's for damn sure. Yeah, I told y'all just yesterday. I said, hey, this man might be getting ready to fight. Who? Yeah, you know, Rayo, yeah, for that damn Zuffa belt. All right, say what you want to say. Call it protective services. Call it whatever you want. You saw that Dr. De La Hoya yesterday came out with, hey, the fact that, hey, my guy, Ryan Garcia gonna fight Conor Ben. So guess what? You can get dibs after that.
Now, even though Shakur Stevenson told Andreas Hale that he's no intention of fighting in small fights like a fight with Rayo, Timothy Bradley anticipates that that's who he's going to end up fighting. He's going to end up fighting Rayo. If he can't get a fight with Ryan, or Devin Haney, or Gervonta Davis, who he's never been able to get in the ring, they've got that Rayo fight in their back pocket. Remember that Shakur is the fighter who wasn't ready to go up to 147, and remember that Zuffa doesn't have a 140-pound division.
Remember that Rayo called Shakur Stevenson out following his knockout win over Edwin De Los Santos. Remember that Edwin is a common opponent between them.
So this is who you're paying Shakur Stevenson all this money to fight. Rayo?
I ain't even telling you it's a bad fight. They're two top-level guys at or around those weights. They are. But for what you're paying Shakur fiscally, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make for a soluble business. Not if that's the kind of money you have to kick out for that kind of fight.
And it's what I keep telling you, that if all Zuffa's gonna do is enter the space and pay fighters above market value, well, that's not a long-term solution, because it doesn't make for a soluble, sustainable business.
They got the Rayo fight in their back pocket if they can't make nothing else happen for Shakur. They've got that.
It's good for Shakur, but at least we know how to lose, you know what I'm saying? I feel bad for Shakur when he loses, you know? And he's a boring fighter. Nobody gonna see him, and we running to the top. Let's see who's up on top 5 years from now. We're going for a real title right now. We're fighting the champion. You know, we're not fighting for a vacant belt like Shakur does. He's got 2 vacant belts, so I don't know why they call him 4 times world. What is he? 4-time 4 division world champion. You know, he's only won 2 world titles with real champion. So this will be our 3rd title fight. You know, for 3 divisions with a world champion.
If you're gonna criticize Shakur Stevenson for winning 1 or 2 vacant titles, you can't then turn around and talk up the guy you're fighting, because those are the only kind of titles Rolly ever won.
Right.
A vacant title at 140 and another one at 147.
You didn't beat no champion to be no champion at those weights. I have my reservations about Shakur Stevenson, his methodology, his fighting style, but I also have my reservations about the Lopezes, who go above and beyond to make complete asses out of themselves.
Tio's father, especially, it's a little bit too soon for you to start taking shots at Shakur, who beat your son earlier this year, made him look like a rank amateur out there.
He said, come back and talk to us in 5 years. I'm gonna have to, because if I do that now, you guys look like a couple of sore losers.
Your son better win. You better go out there with Rolly and beat him. Don't write a check that Tio's ass can't cash.
You've done that before. You did that with Shakur.
Tio is going the conventional route, After weeks and months of being rumored to potentially sign with Zuffa, he's decided to forego that and go the traditional route to try and become a 3-weight world champion. If he can, that does put him a little bit closer to a Ryan Garcia fight, a Devin Haney showdown.
Liam Pardo too, if Liam can stay IBF champion.
But if the money's so good at Zuffa, and he was rumored to be signing with them, what could have discouraged him from signing with them? Why didn't he?
A technical fight, but I think in this type of situation, it's put up or shut up for a reason. So we're either gonna put up our best, or that's the rest. My decision, I should have moved to 147 a year ago, but we're here now, and we haven't missed a beat.
With the victory over Rolly,
My road right now, my goal is road to undisputed at 147, which is the welterweight division. We're gonna grab all the belts and become a 3-time undisputed world champion, but it'll be a first time for all the casuals.
Rolly, are you done with top rank? I know you and I spoke in New York, and you said that you weren't a top rank fighter. The day before, I had talked to Bob. He had said that he was kind of waiting on your team to come to him. So what happened with you in top rank? Or are you still in top rank?
You see the banner behind, you see the step and repeat, you see all that? There's your answer.
Like when promoters and managers start talking about negotiations on social media, what do you think about that as a fighter? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing?
I think that you got to know how to sell, and if you want to negotiate, you can't ask and demand things if you don't have the supplies. You got to supply that. You can't demand things and you don't supply nothing. So I think that's the biggest factor. I want people to understand that. Me at 28, the reason why this deal happened with Takeover Promotions directly with the DAZN, and this is a 20 million plus deal. But the reason why this happened was because I supply and I demand. And a lot of these young fighters need to understand, not everybody's going to get this opportunity. Oscar De La Hoya was able to do it because he supplied and he demanded. He was an American Mexican and a gold medalist and all the other great things. So you got to first look at your market, and from there, that'll be your thing. But if all these fighters are talking on Twitter, how many of you guys are entertained on that?
So if the question is, why didn't Teo sign to Zuffa if the money over there is so good?
There's your answer. According to him, he inked a $20 million deal with DAZN. Now, I don't think he's getting $20 million for the Rolly fight. I think it's supposed to be $20 million for the length of the deal, like Clarissa Shields' deal, worth an estimated $8 million through the length of the deal.
Sounds like he was able to reach some sort of an agreement with DAZN directly, without any other hens in the cookie jar, supposedly on his behalf. If he did, well, good on him.
Takeover Promotions, huh?
Oh, so I guess Teofimo's another one of these boxers that's also his own promoter?
Okay.
He says he wants to become a 3-time undisputed champion, though I don't recall him doing that once.
There is a tenuous argument that he was undisputed champion at 135, but he certainly wasn't at 140. He only won one alphabet title there from Josh Taylor, who used to be undisputed. Yeah, he was, but he wasn't undisputed when you fought him. By then, the belts got dispersed. There was other belt holders at the weight. You didn't fight. You gonna act like they didn't exist?
He was not undisputed at 140, but he is shooting for undisputed at 147. I think that's the smartest play for Teofimo Lopez. Go the conventional route, the traditional route. But if you beat Rolly and you want to keep unifying afterwards, you don't target Devin. And you don't target Ryan either. A bit of advice.
You target Liam.
That's who you go after, because that would be the easiest unification match to make. If Liam can stay champion after the Donovan fight.
Donovan? Who the fuck is Donovan?
Paddy Donovan of Ireland. Liam Pardo's mandatory challenger. Now, the mandatory has not been called yet. Liam is free at the moment, and I don't anticipate that mandatory will get called until next year. So, you know, there's a lot of time in there.
Are you listening, Teofimo?
You listen to me, you little shitbird.
Are you listening, Teofimo?
You don't go after the biggest of the big names just yet, so soon after rebounding off a loss. You need a bit more momentum.
Are you listening?
Say you fight Rolly Romero, and you beat him. And Ryan fights Conor Ben, and he beats him, right? You don't target him after that. You leave him alone. Let him go have a rematch with Devin, and let those two guys kill each other.
Fuck those guys.
If you beat Rolly at the end of the summer, pick a date over the winter months, to go after the red belt, to go after the IBF title, the one that Liam Paro has still got, while he's still free and not under orders to fight anybody. You talk to them, Mao!
Stop yelling.
You get your people to call his people to start that dialogue, to lay the foundations for the fight between yous in the fall or winter months. You get on this now. You don't waste no time.
You're the fighter, you focus on fighting. You focus on Rolly. You tell Keith to focus on Liam.
Get in contact with that guy. Start a dialogue.
You can beat him.
I don't think it'll be easy because Liam Paro is actually a solid fighter. Kind of underrated.
He's a 2-weight world champion.
Kind of overlooked.
Who beat 2 world champions?
He's the one who ended Subriel Matias' reign as the bogeyman of 140 when he went to Puerto Rico and beat him there. And he's the one who just ended Lewis Crocker's reign at 147 as IBF champion.
Don't look past him. Don't be asleep at the wheel. This guy can fight. To beat him, you've got to work for it. But he's the champion you stand the best chance of beating, and he's the champion you stand the best chance of getting in the ring because you're a bigger name than him.
Ryan's gonna try to pull rank on you. He's gonna try to pull A-side antics on you. Devin, he might do the same thing. Whereas with Liam, you're the bigger name.
You listening, you little shitbird?
You pay attention to me. You do what Ice tells you. I'll get you to the top.
You go after Liam.
You've already established that it is now your goal to become undisputed champion at 147 pounds. So it doesn't really matter what order these fights happen in. So long as your next one after Rolly is for another alphabet title, it's all tits and tan lines, fun in the sun.
Don't get too caught up on Ryan or Devin. Let those guys settle up with each other. Let them do whatever the fuck they're doing at the time. Don't worry about them. Save them for next year.
Odds are, there's gonna be a lot of people that have a lot of plans for those two fighters anyway. Don't focus on them. You focus on Liam. You lost a lopsided decision to Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah.
And you know, one win over a Rolly Romero doesn't put you back at the top.
What?
2 wins over 2 champions.
2's better than 1.
2 belts is better than 1. That's bargaining power.
Go after Liam.
It's an easier fight to make, an easier unification match than the others because those other 2 guys are going to want the moon and the stars for a fight. Liam's going to want something nice too, a handsome check, but not as much as those other guys. This one is easier to make. You go after this guy, you do this one, and cap off the year off of 2 consecutive wins against 2 champions.
If you can close out this year doing this, you start off next year in a very, very strong position.
That's my advice. That's the logical course of action for Teofimo at the end of the summer should he beat Rolly. I think that he's going to. I think that he can win that fight.
Do you think Zuffa maybe didn't offer him the kind of money that they offered Shakur?
That's possible. Shakur Stevenson was coming off a win. Teofimo Lopez was coming off a loss. So it's possible they didn't offer them comparable money, which is why Teofimo chose to forego it.
Fuck it.
It's in the past now. You want undisputed? There's a right way to go about it.
Do as I say. That's your best bet.